Hello my people, welcome to another tutorial. My name is Agnes. In today's tutorial, I'll show you how I made this oversized cardigan. You can make this in any size, any length. I will be telling you how you can do that and what measurements you need to take to achieve this. It is very soft yet textured. I used velvet yarn and the Suzette stitch, which gives it this beautiful texture. I will be having a written pattern on my online shops. You can check the links in the description box or on the pinned comment if you want to purchase a pattern for this. Yeah, let's get into it and I will show you how you can adjust the sizes. So we are going to be using velvet yarn. However, you can use any other yarn that you have. This is durable velvet. It's 100 grams, 180 meters each skein. I used 8 of these. It is bulky yarn size 5. So if you don't have that, you can use any other yarn. Doesn't matter with measurements. You can always, change the yarn and come out with the same outcome. It is 100% polyester. It is color Bodox. And it recommends a 3 to 5 millimeter hook, but I'm going to be using a 4.0 millimeter hook. So use the hook size recommended by your yarn. You will need a tape measure, scissors, and a darning needle. Tape measure to take some measurements that we need. If you're in Europe, check durableyarns.com for physical locations where you can purchase this yarn. And if you'd like to buy online, check the links in my description box and comment section. So we are going to start with the back panel. Right here is where we have our foundation chains, and then we'll work our rows. Once we have the length of our cardigan, then we are going to split and do one part of the front panel and then the other side, reattach our yarn and do the second part. We leave the neckline, which is about 3.5 inches, and then work all these two panels are identical. And once we are done with all this, then we are going to start on the sleeves. So the sleeves, we start from the wrist area down here, and then we work our way up while increasing. And once we have our two sleeves, then we need to sew them to the rest of the cardigan. So we arrange it out like this and then sew the sleeves. And once we are done with that, we sew the sides of the cardigan, and then we go ahead and do the ribbing around like this. And yeah, that's it. We are going to start with the back panel. The back panel foundation chain is going to be an even number of chains. All right, so an even number of chains, which is the length should be your shoulder to shoulder measurements plus 9 inches. That's for oversize, but I like oversize. If you don't like oversize like it looks in my pictures, then you're going to take plus 5 inches instead of 9. All right, so keep that in mind. And I am going to make a chain that is longer than what I want because I don't like to count stitches, and I want to cut off the excess chain once I have my measurements after row 1, and I will show you how I do that. All right, so this is my long chain. It's longer than what I want, 24, but I'm going to do my first row, and once I have 24 inches, then I'll cut off the excess. I will show you. So to start off row 1, you're going to skip the first stitch and go into the second chain, and you're going to make a single crochet. So for the Suzette stitch, we work with a pair of single crochet and double crochet in one stitch. So you're going to make your first stitch as a single crochet, and then you're going to yarn over, and in that very same stitch, you go in with a double crochet. All right, so you're going to skip one chain, and into the next chain you're going to go in with a single crochet. So single crochet, and then you yarn over, and in that very same stitch you make a double crochet. Then you're going to skip your next chain, and into the chain after that you're going to make a single crochet, and in that very same chain make a double crochet. So for the Suzette stitch, you are you're just making a pair of a single crochet and double crochet, skip one, single crochet, double crochet, skip one, and the single crochet and double crochet are in the same stitch. So you're going to do that, and I will meet you at the end once I have my 24 inches. Like I said, it's a baggy cardigan, so if you don't like baggy, then make shoulder to shoulder measurements plus 5 inches. I made shoulder to shoulder measurements plus 9 inches. Okay, so my cardigan can be worn by a small, a medium size. All right, so I'll see you at the end of the row, so that I show you how to finish it off and how to cut off the excess chain. All right, so I've come to the end of my row 1, and I have my measurements that I wanted, so I can cut off the excess. Why I do this is because sometimes you start with 24 inches and it increases and it's like 26 after the first row. So I try to avoid that, or try to avoid counting the chains. Anyway, at the end I have 24 inches. So to end every row, we are going to end every row with a single crochet. Okay, only a single crochet. So you're going to skip one, and into the last stitch you're going to make a single crochet. Only one stitch in that last row, last stitch. Okay, remember that we end every row with a single crochet and not a pair. Okay, so now I'm going to cut off the excess yarn. So I will count 3 chains from the last stitch, and in the middle of that third chain I will just cut it and then pull it and tighten. All right, so now we are going to go to row 2. So for row 2, it's going to be the same pattern on every row. It's a repeat of 1 row. So for row 2, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and this is going to be our repeat row. So you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and this is what you do on every row. So chain 1, turn your work. In that very first stitch that you see there, you're going to go in with a single crochet, and in that very same stitch you're going to go in with a double crochet. So you're going to skip 1 stitch, and into the next stitch you're going to make that pair again. So you will make a single crochet, and into that very same stitch you're going to make a double crochet, and you're going to skip 1 stitch, into the next single crochet, double crochet, skip 1 to the next single crochet, double crochet. And this is going to be our repeat row, but I'm going to go all the way to the end, and I'll meet you at the end of the row so that I can show you how we close it off and start the next row, just to show you once again. It's the same thing, but I need to show you. All right, so I'll meet you at the end of the row so that we can close off row 2 and start row 3. All right, so I'm coming to the end of row 2, and I'm going to skip 1 into the next single crochet and then double crochet. So for our last stitch of every row is going to be a single crochet. So skip 1, go into the last stitch, and I'm going to make only a single crochet. All right, so make sure you're putting your stitch in the right stitch. So right there, those 2 loops, I'll make a single crochet, and that's my last stitch. That's all. At the end of every row, it's 1 single crochet. So for row 3, we are just going to repeat what we did on row 2. So you chain 1, you turn your work, and in that very first stitch you make that pair, which is a single crochet, and into that very same stitch you make a double crochet, skip 1 next stitch, single crochet and double crochet, skip one. Next is single crochet and double crochet, and you're going to repeat this row. You repeat row 2 until you have the length of your cardigan. So it depends how long do you want your cardigan to be. This is the length of the cardigan before the ribbing. Okay, so keep that in mind. You can take measurements from top of your shoulder to where you want it to reach and how long you want your ribbing to be, or you can just measure the cardigan that you have in your closet. All right, so I am going to just keep repeating row 2 until I have the length of my cardigan. Then I'll get back to you so that we can add on to that with the front panels. Do not cut off your yarn once you get. Don't forget, it is one single crochet at the end of every row. One single crochet. All right. So I have the length of my cardigan, and I made 26 inches long. This is before the ribbing. You can make this longer or shorter depending on your preference, and the texture is really beautiful when combined with this velvet yarn. It makes it so soft. I love it. And we're going to do the front panels, but you need to count all the stitches on your panel, and then you're going to take away 3.5 inches of that. That will be our neckline. All right, so I counted all the stitches, and then I took away 3.5 inches, and for my 3.5 inches it was 10 squares. So I measured on my stitches how many stitches are in 3.5 inches, and it was 5 pairs, so which is 10 stitches, right? So I had to leave out 10 stitches here in the middle. So I had counted everything I had from the beginning to the end of my panel, and then I took away those 10 stitches, and the stitches I had left, I divided them into 2. So one is on the right side and the other is on the left side. So I counted my stitches and made sure they are the same on every side. Okay, so if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 pairs, so I have the same on this other side. So I have 16 pairs on the right, 16 pairs on the left, and 5 in the middle. Okay, so once you have your stitch markers in place, now we are just going to continue the same pattern, just on a smaller scale. So I went ahead and did the front panel, one of the front panels already. So when you don't cut off your yarn, you just go all the way to where your first stitch marker is. Of course, end with a single crochet, because we're ending every row with a single crochet. So remember to end with a single crochet right there. And then now you just keep turning with the same pattern until you have the same number rows on the front panel as you had on the back panel. But I'm going to show you how I did that now with this other side. So we are going to reattach our yarn here and work all the way to the end. All right, so since we're working in this direction, at this time I will now begin where the stitch marker is. All right, so from the other front side, we're working from the right to the left, and now we're still working from the right to the left. So make sure you reattach this in the single crochet stitch. Okay, so where your stitch marker is, in the single crochet stitch. Okay, that's where we are starting our second panel. So you're going to chain 1. So reattach your yarn, and you're going to chain 1, and you're going to go into that very same stitch with a single crochet. And then you're going to go into that very same stitch with a double crochet. So you're going to skip 1 and go into the single crochet with a single crochet and a double crochet. Skip 1, single crochet and double crochet. and you're going to do this until you get to the end. And it's the same pattern, so but I will show you. So go all the way to the end. So coming to the end, and like we're ending the others, so at the end you're always going to use a single crochet. So skip one, in the last stitch make a single crochet. So next row, chain one, turn your work, and it's the same pattern as the back panel, just smaller. So you're going to start with a single crochet in that very first stitch. In the same stitch you will go in with a double crochet. Single crochet, skip one, single crochet, same stitch, double crochet. Skip one, single crochet, same stitch, double crochet. Single crochet, double crochet. And you're going to do this until you get to where you started your first row, and we will end with a single crochet once we get here, and it will be a repeat. So I'm coming to the end of that second row, and I'm going to go into this last stitch here with a single crochet. So that's the end of our row 2. So for row 3 you're just going to keep repeating. Row 4, same stitch, same pattern, until you get to the same length as you had for the back panel. So you're going to chain one, turn your work, and repeat. So in the first stitch, single crochet, same stitch, back, double crochet, skip one, single crochet, double crochet. So it's simple as that. Repeat until you have the same length as your other panel, and once you're done I'll get back to you so that we can start on the sleeves. All right, as for the first panel, you didn't need to reattach your yarn, you just needed to continue where you ended until you get to where you have the stitch marker, and it's same thing. All right, so just keep repeating this until you get to the length of the back panel, or the same number of rows. Once you are done, it should look something like this. Back panel, front panel, same length. We just have this part in the middle that separates the two, and it's 3.5 inches long, wide. Now this is how it looks. I have to try it on because I want to see how the length of my sleeves. So I just measure, when I want to know the length of my sleeves, I measure from, you know, where the cardigan is reaching on my arms, the main body of the cardigan, from there where it's reaching on my arms, and then measure all the way to my wrist. So you do the same to know the length of your sleeve. So that's my sleeve. We start here, go all the way up while increasing until we have the length of the sleeve that we like. So let's start with the sleeve, and you're going to measure your wrist area. So mine was 5.5 inches for my wrist area, so I added 1.5 inches and I made my first row 7 inches. So 5.5 from around my wrist. You can measure your wrist and leave some allowance. So I left allowance of 1.5 inches. So I wanted my wrist, my sleeve to be 7 inches around my wrist. All right, so I made a long chain, longer than 7. As you can see, it's quite big. So I'm going to do my first row until I have my 7 inches. So same pattern. That's how we start. So skip one, second chain, make a single crochet, and in the same chain, make a double crochet. skip 1, single crochet, double crochet, skip 1, single crochet, double crochet, skip 1, single crochet, double crochet. So I'm going to do this until I have my 7 inches. So this is me. And I have my 7 inches, so I need to finish this off. It's about 7.5, but yeah, doesn't matter. So to finish this off, you're going to skip 1 single crochet in the last one, and that's it. And then you're going to cut off the excess yarn. So 1, 2, 3 in the third one, cut it off, and then pull. And now to start on row 2, chain 1, turn your work. I already chained a 1. So start with a single crochet in that very first stitch, double crochet. Skip 1, single crochet, double crochet. So we are not increasing until we are done with row 4. So we are increasing 5th row and 6th row at the beginning of the 5th row and at the beginning of the 6th row. So we are just going to continue this. I'll meet you at the end of row 2. So to end this row, like always, you're going to end with 1 single crochet. So skip 1, and then that very last stitch, make a single crochet. Then you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to repeat. So single crochet, same stitch, double crochet. So we are just going to continue this for 4 rows. So this is 1, 2, and we are on the 3rd one. Then I will do 1 more, and then I will come so that I show you how we can increase on row 6 and row 5 and row 6. Okay, so do 4 rows and I will come back to you for the increase. So I've done my 4 rows, and now we need to make an increase at the beginning of the 5th row and at the beginning of the 6th row. So to increase, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and in that very first stitch, you're going to insert 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. And in that very same stitch, you're still going to make 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. So we are having 2 pairs in the very first stitch. That's how we're going to make our increase. Okay, and we are only making increases at the beginning of the row. So now we are just going to go back to making 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, but in that very first stitch we had 2 pairs, so that means we had 4 stitches in that very first stitch. Okay, so now continue as before, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, just 1 pair in that stitch, and then until the end. So this is where we make our increase only here, and as before, once you get to the end of the row, it is just 1 single crochet. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th we made an increase, the 6th we make an increase at the beginning. So chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to make an increase like we did here. So you're going to go into that very first stitch with a single crochet and a double crochet, and then again you are going to go into the very same stitch with a single crochet and a double crochet, and that's it. So we are done with our 2 increases. So now next stitch, skip 1 stitch, and in the next you make a single crochet, double crochet, skip 1, single crochet, double crochet until the end. So we did row 1, 2, 3, 4, no increase. 5 and 6 increase. Now we are going to repeat that. So we will do 1 2 3 4, no increase. 5 and 6 increase. 1 2 3 4, no increase. 5 and 6 increase. Okay, so this is the end of my row 6. I'm just going to finish it with a single crochet in the last stitch. Right here, single crochet. So remember we had 4 in this previous row, there where I'm ending the row. So make sure you're putting the right number of stitches. Okay, so it's just going to be a repeat of this 1 2 3 4, then increase 5 and 6. 1 2 3 4, 5 and 6. So now for row 7, of course it's going to be a normal row, so no increases. So it's just going to be single crochet, double crochet. Okay, single crochet, double crochet. So that will be row 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, 7, 8, 9, and 10, no increase, and then 11 and 12 increase. Okay, and then again 13, 14, 15, 16, no increase, 16 and 17 increase, like that. I don't know if I counted it right, but it's I feel like I confused myself. It is 4 rows of no increase, 2 rows of increase, 4 rows of no increase, 2 rows of increase. Just follow that pattern. All right, and you're going to do this until you have double what you started with. All right, 2 rows of increase, 4 rows of no increase, until you have double what you started with. And I went all the way until I had double. I started with 7 inches and now I have 14 inches. So if you started with 8 inches, you should have 16 inches. And once you have the double, then you stop increasing. As you can see, my first panel, my first sleeve is 20 inches long. That's quite long, so you can make it shorter if you like, because I wanted a long one that I can fold, you know. Anyway, so you stop increasing and then you just go straight with no more increases once you get to the double. So here where I am, I now just need to go without increasing. So once you're done with your sleeves, you lay them down like this, and we are going to make sure they are in the center. So this line here, the center of the sleeve and the center of the cardigan should be, you know, aligned nicely here, like this. This line here should be the middle. So just count, I don't know how many stitches you have on your sleeve, and make sure it's in the middle of the sleeve and also in the middle of the cardigan, like that, following this line. And we are just going to sew along the sleeve and the cardigan just to join them. I put stitch markers so that I know exactly where that middle is, so that, you know, it's well arranged. And yeah, we're just going to sew along here. I'm going to use my darning needle to do this, just to sew around here, but if you don't have one, you can use slip stitches. So I'll just start from one side of the sleeve, and I will use the mattress stitch. You can use any other method to join. It really doesn't matter, just join your sleeve to the main part of the cardigan and that's it. So I will sew inside out, like in, out, from the inside to the outside, from the inside to the outside. So any sewing method here can work, or you can use your hook to slip stitch across, but it's it looks better, the seam looks better with the needle because it doesn't show. So where I have my stitch marker is like the center, and I will start from the bottom to the center and then to the top. So that's how it looks, and I will do this along up to the end. So once you have your sleeves attached, of course attach both of them, and then we're going to sew here and then like this part. All right, so using the same stitch, do that, and I'll meet you once you're done with that, because it's the same method I used for the sleeves. And this is everything all done sewed, and now I want to work the ribbing. We are going to start with the bottom ribbing, and then we do the one in the front. All right, so for the bottom ribbing, we are going to start from one end of the cardigan at the bottom, reattach my yarn, and we're going to be using the front post, back post. So we'll start with a row of double crochets. So reattach your yarn and chain 3. The chain 3 counts as our first stitch. So you are going to go into the next stitch with a double crochet, and I'm going to go into every stitch with a double crochet. So from one corner at the bottom to the other corner at the bottom, so you're passing at the bottom in every stitch, making a double crochet. And I'll see you at the end of this row. We are at the end of the first row at the bottom. This is the other corner. So now we are going to make our row 2. So for row 2, you're going to chain 3, and chain 3 counts as a stitch. So this is going to be the beginning of a front post, back post. Okay, so chain 3 counts as a stitch. Turn your work, and we are going to start with a front post. So yarn over, and you're going to skip that first double crochet because that counts as on top of that chain 3. So go into the next double crochet, and you're going to put your hook under that double crochet, make a front post. Next is a back post. So you're going to come from the back over that second double crochet or third double crochet and make a back post. Next is a front post, and next is a back post. Front post, back post. And you're going to repeat this for every stitch. So it's going to be front post, back post, front post, back post, front post, back post, until you get to the end of the row. And at the end of the row, you should end with a double crochet. So I came all the way at the bottom, and I'm coming to the end. I wanted to show you how you end, and we are going to end this round row with a back post in on top of that chain 3. So this is my second last stitch, which is a back post, back post, and then my last stitch is going to be on top of that chain 3, and it will be a double crochet. So this is how you'll be ending every row, with a double crochet on top of the chain 3. So you start your next row with a double crochet, and then you turn your work, and in your next stitch you're going to make a front post. So where you see this looking like a front post, you make a front post, and the one that is at the back, you make a back post. At the front, you make a front post. At the back, you make a back post. And you're just going to repeat this. Once you get to the end, you end with a double crochet on top of the chain 3. And you're going to repeat this until you have the length of the ribbing that you like. Okay, so I'm done with my ribbing, and now I want to do the front ribbing. The bottom ribbing I did about 6-7 rows, depends on how long you want it to be. So now Don't cut off your yarn because we are going straight to the ribbing at the front. All right, we'll just be working from one side all the way up to the other side and back. So what we are going to do is the same back post and front post. What we need a row of double crochet first. So I am going to chain 3, and chain 3 counts as a stitch. So I am going to go into this next stitch here and make a double crochet, and I'm going to this little stitch in between here and make a double crochet, and then I go into the big stitch in there, make a double crochet, and then into this little one here that is not easy to see, make a double crochet, and then into the big one, double crochet, into the little one, double crochet, big one, little one, and I'm going to do this until I'm at the end of the bottom ribbing. So once I'm done with the ribbing, then I will make double crochet in every stitch. Okay, so once we are done with the bottom ribbing with the little ones and the big ones, then now you just start to make a double crochet in every stitch. And you're going to make double crochet in every stitch all the way up around your neck, all the way down to the bottom, and I will meet you at the bottom. So I went all around and I'm at the bottom, so I'm going to put my last stitch in this stitch right here. So from now on, it's the same as we did the bottom ribbing. It's back post and front post. So what you'll do is chain 3, turn your work, and do front post and back post. So chain 3 counts as a stitch, so you will skip that very first double crochet, and into that second double crochet you're going to make a front post. Next is a back post, and next is a front post. You already did this for the bottom, so you know how it goes. You're just going to go all around with front post, back post until you get to the end, and once you get to the end, make sure you're putting a double crochet on top of the chain 3, and then chain 3, turn your work, front post, back post all the way to this end again, and repeat until you have the number of rows that you are satisfied with. And you can cut off your yarn, sew in all your ends, and you should have yourself a cardigan. So this is my cardigan. I sewed in all the loose ends, and this is how it looks like. I hope you like it. This was my ribbing. I did about 4 rows for the front, and I love the cardigan. The color is much prettier in person. It didn't look like this on camera, but I love it. I love how it actually looks, but not on camera. So I love the cardigan, and I hope you like it too. If you do, please leave a like, share this video, tag me on social media when you create this, and you can buy my pattern on Etsy or yanti.com. I will leave the links in the comment section and in the description box. Also follow me on social media. It's Crochets. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.